Hi beautiful people, welcome to Kate Space, welcome to my channel. I have a journal flip through, journal share to share with you today. This was my first design team project for Sue at Paper Inspirations. Sue has an online shop, it's based in Australia, and I'm on her design team. I'm one of her creative design team members. The rest I have linked below, and I'll link her shop and all her details below. But this is what I created. She sent me a lot of fabrics and some embroidery threads and lots of sort of things like that, and so I've used them throughout. I will link the items in her shop that I've used at the bottom of this video, so you can go and have a look at them, and also you can use a discount code to get a 10% discount, and any postage overages will be credited back to you. So this is my journal. She's kind of a tallish, slimish girl. Okay, so she measures about 28.5 by about 14. So yeah, tall but not super thin, not like a really tall slim one. And I have just tied her together with some very simple, just slightly ivory seam binding. I haven't even crinkled it because this is so busy. I was going to use some sort of patterned fabric, but I thought that maybe that was a bit much. So all of these fabrics, except for this sort of stripe and this lace in here, were all from Sue's shop. This one I've used for the base was from Sue's shop, and the yo-yos and the thread that I've used for the embroidery, for the French knots and things, are all from Sue's shop. So I will link them below. And I've made this out of sort of like a cardstock, and this fabric is on top of a beautiful sort of cotton quilting batting. It's really nice. Okay, and so on the inside of this I have used chapter one papers digitals, and so I've lined the inside with that, and through the center I've strengthened the spine here with the fabric and the lace. So actually the chapter one papers is on top of the cardstock. This is one of those vintage sort of newspaper wraps I've used before, and the doily was from the shop as well, a pack of doilies that I was sent. I've used this lovely little sort of linen, maybe handkerchief, I'm not quite sure. It's embroidered because I thought it kind of went with the sort of the fabric-y theme. And then this is one of the chapter one digitals. And there's a little tuck spot here. I've got some handmade paper, some Italian antique papers. And we have a ruffle with the fabric from the shop. This is just a little tag, or it's a big tag that I made for the graphics fairy. I can link that video down below, and you can write on the back of that, but I just thought the little blue flowers on this sort of went nicely and with this theme. And this is some vintage wallpaper, a Tim Holtz bulldog clip, and I covered some buttons with the fabric, and I really wanted to use them, but they're quite bulky because they've got the big shank, and I didn't put them on the cover, so I've just hung it off some ball chain there. I thought that was quite cute. A little card here. I actually think that's Sam. Oh, I'm not sure actually who that is, to be quite honest. Some avocado dyed paper with the lace sort of imprint on it. Some lined paper, some scrapbooking cardstock, a rectangle doily over a bright blue sort of copy page, some 1909 ledger with a big pocket on the other side, and in this pocket I've put a tag made with that same wallpaper and topped with some beautiful light blue sari, sort of almost a grey. And in here is a faux library card, Emily Jane Bronte, which I've just put into this sort of tea-dyed blue sort of envelope. This is definitely sample. It is as you can see, a button card. I have no buttons on this one. I've backed it with some very old sort of I guess it's like a newsprinty kind of paper. So it's like a journaling card, well, it's a journaling card, and there's a rusty paper clip on there. And then this little charm, which I have honestly had for so long. So I've just put a little split pin on there, a split ring, and yeah, just hung that off that paper clip. And a journaling card made with the chapter 1 papers, and that's backed with some brown paper. Piano score music cover, piano score cover, some washi tape. This is Amity Bloom washi tape. A lace pocket with some of the lace from the shop, and it's hand stitched down the side. And in here is an original French invoice from, I think, 1868. And that is just so beautiful. 1868, how gorgeous is that? Man, they are hard to part with, but I thought this journal is going to have one of those in it. So there we go, started something now. So yeah, there's that beautiful letter with the handwriting, and that slips in there nice and safe. And I did some texture paste here, and I used some ink to dye that. More of the digital, more ledger, but not as old. This one is from 1978 by the looks. This page is from the Girls Own annual, or Girls Own paper, so from 18 something, late 1800s. This is a ruby and pearl digital that I had in my scraps, and I've used it as a pocket, as you can see. This is a copy of a photochrome letter card that I have, and so I have copied that, both sides, and then I've glued them together and sort of aged it. And inside I have a very old postcard. Well, it's not even a postcard, is it? It's just like a card. So that's what the back is. It's an embossed, and a copy of one of my very old photos, just tucked in there. So you can write on that. I haven't glued it. Haven't glued anything in. Okay, I'll fix it later. And in here is the tag that I made. Again, this was made following a tutorial by Jane. I think that was for the Graphics Fairy. And again, I've utilised some of the fabrics that were given to me, and the lace. And I will link that video below as well if you want to go and watch that one. This is some very old, and it was quite delicate vintage or antique embroidery pattern from a embroidery sort of newspaper thing, and I've backed it with this music paper to give it some strength. I have folded it up here. At the bottom it's a little bit cracky, but again it's got this behind it to strengthen it. A few little scraps of paper there. And in there I've tucked in this little card. Jubilee Celebrations, April 15th, 1922. And this is local, so a picnic in Estdale, sports in Nelson Park. So yeah, so that's a Napier thing from 1922. And I've made this button card. I'm pretty sure this is Sam Poole. Yes, it is. And I've printed on both sides, and I've sewn on some mother of pearl buttons, and included a couple of pins, very old vintage pins, and a rusted little safety pin too there. The braille paper that opens out, some grid, and what's here? Oh, this is like a sample, a lace sample card, again Sam Poole, and I've included some old, I guess you call it broderie anglaise or eyelet, I'm not sure, and again some of the fabric from Sue's shop, this with these beautiful roses, and I've included the selvage because I love the printing on that, and that just tucks into this belly band. This is an old wallpaper sort of border, I guess you'd call it. This is the center, and in the center I have done some little glass bead dangles in blue, so those are glass, not plastic. And on the back of this digital is just I printed a plain old page sort of thing. And then we are back to the other side of all the pages. So this has got an envelope wrapped around it. Here's a journaling card, and that's printed double-sided on some slightly heavier cardstock, I think on some matte photo paper. What have we got in here? Nothing in that pocket. And this opens out. So this is one of those envelopes. I've done a tutorial on these, and so I will link that below as well in case you want to go and have a look. And they open out like this. So this is a tea-dyed envelope, and in here I've got some old New Zealand ephemera. This one here is from, I don't know, 1943, and this one is 1969. So I liked the blue, so I popped those in that envelope. This music opens right out, and there's the other part of that very old embroidery. Is it a pattern or instructions? And this is all tucked up, but it's not glued down, so it could be ripped off. Or there's some lace, and this is again Amity Bloom washi tape. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's a big pocket here that I've put nothing in. I will put something in there. It will probably be a collage journaling card of some description, probably something like this. And the other part of that very old paper. This is the other side of the ledger, which, as you can see, I've printed the chapter 1 paper design onto that. And this is one of the sort of lace sample cards from Sam Paul's kit, and I've just used it as a tab, as you can see. Another little ruffle and some texture paste. Here's just like a little collection of papers which I have pinned with a very rusty paper clip, and it kind of just sits over the top there. This I made following Heather from Rosehill Paper Cottages. She did a video for chapter 1 papers, and that's what I followed to make this little kind of waterfall pad, I suppose, or fold out thing. And so yeah, it's tied at the top. This bit here, this first piece is lined with pianola music. This is lined with brown paper. There's a little picture in here. That's from Ruby and Pearl. And there's a letter here, which is a digital, which I've aged, and I've tucked that into there. And again, obviously there's some of the blue texture paste. And so that is tucked in there, and actually it's just tucked, the back bit's tucked and the rest sits over the top. This opens out, that part of the doily. And is it attached? Yeah, it is. In here I've just tucked a airmail, an old airmail aerogram, which we used to send letters in. And I have got texture paste there on that, and that's just tucked into this little side tuck, and there's a ruffle there. That's the other side. It's got some grid on this and some more of the texture paste. There's the other side of the avocado. This is from the inside cover of a Flower Fairy book, and I just like the blue of it, and that is attached to the wallpaper. Yes, the wallpaper, and it's backed with some coffee dyed sort of note paper, and that's the other picture. And there's a tuck spot here which does not have anything in it. This is a vintage old photo, and that is my grandma Vera, so that would be from probably 30s or 40s. The other half of that linen, it's just folded down, and the other half of that old paper thing that wrap, and another little button card that I've printed on both sides. It doesn't have any buttons on it, but you can write on it or add buttons, and an envelope that I've made with the kit, the chapter 1 kit, and it's just got this little card in there. Again, trying so hard not to make them so bulky so that they don't close. And then some more texture paste, and again there's the back of the journal. So that is that. That's my very first design team project, and it's taken a long time. There's been a few videos which obviously will be linked creating this, so you can follow along how I made some of it, not all of it. I've really enjoyed it, and I love the fabrics and the things that I've still got a few left over, so they'll be making an appearance in the future, I'm sure, in future projects for Sue. So thanks so much for watching. I really hoped you enjoyed that. This journal will go into my Etsy shop at some point and be for sale. So yeah, but I just really hope you like it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and for all your support, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye.